Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Avini Vibes. And everyone, reminder uh, we make no medical claims. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any symptom or diagnosis. But I love to share what Rick says, and that is a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. And that's why we're here tonight. And we have an amazing guest. And I'm going to bring Chip on because he is going to introduce her.
Well, I'll have a wing at it. What can I tell you that you don't already know about Marcy Littlejohn? Um, she posted it in the newspaper way back when, 40 some years ago, looking for fishermen with a boat, intent matrimony, send picture of boat. And when I sent the picture, it was a ski boat, and she got by with it anyway. And then she became one of the best boat drivers in the area. She has driven, very short line slalom. She's pulled barefoot pyramids, barefooters, all kinds of trick skiers, and the little scene behind me happens to be the pelicans at our lake the day the water went out last winter. And they come in and they just line up like a football team and they chase the fish in front of them and scoop them up. And so that was taken right in front of where we spend our summers. And she had a flower shop, very creative, as you may have noticed, and businesslike. Um, we talked on one of the calls about women whose fathers were businesslike and influenced them strongly, and Marcy's one of those. She and her dad have the same business acumen and capabilities, and they I always say they don't even have to be right because they'll work so hard it turns out right anyhow. And so she won't short you on effort. And I guess that's a few things. Oh, by the way, she's involved in Avini. She gets to be the master distributor of Avini. And you think about that, over the years, we saw what was happening with Rick Deitch, where he and his products would go under the umbrella of another company. But we never could find a bureaucracy or another company that understood who he was, what the products could do, or who we were. And so it was, a divorce on the day of marriage between him and each of the companies. And for, geez, I suppose 15 years we've been thinking, and Marcy's been pushing it, Rick's got to have his own company. And so 3 years ago, all the right people came together, including, the avenues to find all of you, and gave Rick and his buddy Neil the courage to make this move. And they chose Marcy as their master distributor. And the first time that they called her, she said, "Go get Heath Burrell for customer service." And everybody on here knows what that means to us. And so that was the next call. And so with that, here's Marcy. Hi, Marcy. She's in the other room, but I'm introducing her from a few feet away.
All right. Marcy, come join us.
I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk to you guys tonight. And I love our topic because there's so many exciting developments in our topic in the last few months because of a brand new product we have. Are you ready for me to talk, or would you like to just ask me questions?
Oh, no. Come share.
Okay.
And then we'll ask questions. Yeah.
Okay. Well, tonight we're going to talk about women's health. And I quite often am guilty of talking about our state-of-the-art product, Cell Defender. And I want you to know it is the number one most important product you could ever take in your life. It's the most important discovery in medicine in the last 3,000 years, in my opinion. And I believe that it was created by the hand of God at the time of creation. And it was created to protect the earth. And then a guy that I know and that you guys have come to know, named Rick Deitch, who is our biochemist, discovered a way to make it perfect for you and your body. he brings us an empty trash can for all of our trash to go into. So number one, all of us need to be on that product. And there's never, ever, ever, ever a time that you don't need to be on it, because you're constantly re-exposed. You're constantly re-exposed to toxins and body debris that causes roadblocks and keeps us from being our potential, meeting our potential, being our potential, and balancing our lives. So that product is number one. Don't think I don't know it. Okay. And second to that, I want to talk about a couple of other our products. One that we've been using for 13 years, and that's the Zimmunity product. And it's our 7 different mushrooms. And each of those mushrooms has its own incredible history and incredible proof of performance. And I love that, because when somebody says, well, what about this mushroom or that mushroom? We say, look, our 7 mushrooms combined together are like taking an ant and turning him into Superman, right? So we've got that. We have all of that. But what we are discovering over and over and over again is that that combination of mushrooms is an incredible improvement to women's health. It's also an improvement to men's health. And I don't want the men to think that anything I say tonight doesn't pertain to them. It does. But we're just focusing on the problems of hormones and adrenals tonight. And so as we're talking about that, we have to include the Zimmunity product. So 1, 2, now the product that I'm going to talk a little bit about, and then I'll give you generals about all of it, is the Balance product, the brand new Balance product. The brand new product is literally getting, in just, what is it, 2 months? In 2 months' time, we're getting testimonies back from people that were flat out. And when I say flat out, that means they were in adrenal failure, they were in adrenal fatigue, or hormone failure, or both, or all of those. And it's a huge crisis. It's a crisis throughout the country, every country, but certainly in our country. And one of the things is processed food, really gets into our hormones, the hormones that come when chickens and cows and pigs are significantly enhanced for growth with hormones. Your hormones, you eat that hormone, and it affects your hormone. Also, many, 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 many women are going through that wonderful thing somebody called change of life. And boy, does it ever change your life. So having gone through that, been through that, I also tell people, we think the crisis is over if we get through it the first time. It's not. Any exposure you have, the fires in California, the chemicals and so forth and so on. Can you imagine the adrenal and hormonal fatigue that happens as a result of that? Just knowing what we know. And by the way, Suzanne Summers, an actress from Three's Company, who played a ditzy blonde. I play that sometimes too. But the truth is, she actually made this a national campaign. She, going through menopause, early in her life, fairly early in her life, discovered that all of this was true, and so much more, that there were all these reasons why people were having such a hard time jumping through that loop. And what we know is that people that we expose our product to don't have those issues. So as we, some of the symptoms that she brought to the forefront were what exploded the compounding pharmacy business. So compounding pharmacists are the ones who, it's not the doctor, it's not, it's really compound pharmacists that come up with formulas for people. Well, what's so wonderful about our formula, even if you're taking a compounding drug, they play out on you. You have to go back to the compounding pharmacist and have it changed. You have to do. Chip worked with my brother-in-law, who was a brilliant compounding pharmacist. And you know why he was so good at it? Because he was a great networker. He would sit down and really get to know the patient, and he would make the formula fit the patient. Rick has come up with a formula that fits all of us, men too. And men have hormones, and men are driven testosterone, and women need testosterone. Isn't it interesting that he was able to create a product that, when he added it to our product, our balanced already cell defender keeps the teeter-totter unburdened. Okay, teeter-totter goes like this, right? Tip, tip, tip. And when you tip one way too far, it's like being in an airplane. An airplane is flying along. If you're going along like this, you're in good shape. If your arms are straight, the wings are straight. If you start to tip one direction, you're not flying very well. And you may find that that's where you are with your hormones. And I keep mentioning adrenals because that's the package. Okay. But also, your thyroid is heavily affected by your hormones. So people will get a diagnosis for this and a diagnosis for that and a diagnosis for that. Pretty soon, you're taking a bunch of things, and when they stack up on each other, they don't work well. And what's brilliant about what we have is that everything he adds to our program is balanced to the rest of our program. It's brilliant beyond measure, really, truly. And I believe it's by God's design. I think that we're blessed to have a company that's driven in favor. Mm-hmm. So, as I was talking about symptoms, I mentioned thyroid, and I said balance. And I usually say balance grasshopper because it sticks in people's head that if you say balance grasshopper, they think immediately about culture, dynamics, right? And we want to balance everything. We want to balance all the pillars, all the things that are important to life. And thyroid is certainly one of those. We're seeing a tremendous rise in the suicide rate. We're seeing people that, with no indicators whatsoever, are lost to the world. That's tragic. That's tragic. But you see, our products, those three products in tandem, are balanced. It's an absolute way to change what's driving someone off the edge. Mm. And some of the other symptoms are postpartum for young moms that have just come through pregnancy. It is so hard for their hormones to get balanced many times on their own. And so they take a nosedive, and they'll tip the wing, and they can't come back. Or it may take years to come back. They've got babies to take care of. They've got husbands to take care of. Families fall apart. And certainly families fall apart from suicide, and families tend to drive suicide. If there's a suicide in a family, it quite often doesn't just lead to a divorce, it'll lead to a secondary suicide. That's terrible. And those three products balance the crazies. And I don't mean crazy people. I mean the things that make you crazy, the things that drive you to be ineffective as you. So if you have no sex drive or limited sex drive, or if the sex drive has gone down, that's not normal. People at 85 years old still have a sex drive if they're healthy. And we have people in their 30s that have no sex drive. I'm sorry, guys. We have to talk about that. We have to be able to talk about that. I'm not sorry to bring this to you. It's not news, but we need to be open. We need to be honest. People are having these problems, and we have the solution to their pollution. It is our products. And every time we add, just like we were so happy with the results we were getting with the immunity and cell defender for people that were trying to balance their hormones and their thinking, their emotional balance. And it's fantastic. And then you add our product that's named after exactly what we need: balance, grasshopper. So I love that. If your sofa is your closest companion, that's a sign of failed adrenals. It's a sign of failed hormones. Imbalance is the worst. Okay. Whether it's up or down or backwards, it's still the worst. If that's your companion, it's time for a change. It's time for an intervention, and we have the products to intervene. So I do want to talk a little bit more about the balance, and then I'll let you come back with questions and so forth. But the balance product, when we introduce it to people, I want you guys to be aware. When somebody is crashed with either their hormones, their adrenals, or if they're having thyroid issues, which is how many percent of the people? 8 out of 10. Okay. It's really caustic. It's horrible. And we can make such a significant difference. But please try to avoid jumping in with both feet with the balance product. I'd like to see people bring it on board after they have done Cell Defender, even if it's just for a week. But after they've started the Cell Defender, everything you introduce after that is going to work better. Everything you introduce to them, including the fiber product and everything else. So many of our people are so riddled with toxins. And so if we start taking the toxins out and then introduce the nutritionals, see, people don't react to our dirt, our Cell Defender. They don't have negative reactions to that. And they won't have negative reactions to anything else if we've already started unloading the roadblocks. Mm-hmm. And the roadblocks are everything that causes that funny slant in your airplane. Okay. So it doesn't matter what's wrong with you. It's about getting a few things right. So let's start someone in crisis with one of the balance products in the morning and one of them at night. Now, if they should be on that for maybe a couple of weeks before they make a change to that. And the only reason I'm suggesting this is because you want every experience in your business to be a happy one. And any change in hormones can be a significant role, right? So we want less of this and more of this. We want them to fly their airplane from the beginning. And if we're only making a slight correction, it's easier for the other side to come up. It's easier for the other wing to be in balance. So I try to always talk with parables. After all, it was good enough for Jesus, good enough for God. I'll take it. But I love parables. When we talk about stories, people need to hear the stories. That's how our business works. We tell the stories, share the product, and deliver the message, right? So I encourage you, it doesn't matter if you start them slow or fast, but if their experience is great, they'll be with you forever. That's why we have such great auto ships in our company. So I was delighted to be able to tell on my call last night that Chip and I were White Diamond. We're White Diamond executive, but we were White Diamond before the 11th of the month, just from auto ships. So please, please know that when you teach people in what's in their best interest, and how to do what you do, how to do what you do with the products. If you're teaching people, it doesn't matter if you go fast or slow, but we want you to know you can move through the process. I'm the garbage collector. I came for yours today. Let's take it out in the way that you'd like. If somebody's super sensitive, like I always was, I got rid of my allergies and bad disease using the products. I want that same experience for everyone else, right? So that's my talk. And if you'd like to ask questions,
Marcy, I see Robin and Haley are both on. Did you have them come on for the
we weren't to that yet, but I'm happy to do that.
All right. You're,
Anyway,
you
we
know they're there.
before we ask me questions or them questions, Haley is on and Robin is on, and uh, we can have either. Robin, do you want to come on first? Oh, I got a little bug in my eye. Robin?
I am here. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going to go in the other room. Okay.
Oh, Haley's tending to her baby, so this wasn't a good time for her.
Oh, okay.
She'll come on as soon as she's done.
Oh, she had such wonderful results. I can't wait for you guys to hear Haley. She's just such
Yeah,
a doll.
she's planning on talking to us tonight,
Oh, awesome.
and sharing her wonderful results.
Great.
And
Well,
you have a great testimony too, Robin, on when you started with the products. Would you like to share that?
I'd love to every chance I get. Because when you and Chip first started sharing, actually, I called Marcy because a mutual friend told us, said, you got to call Marcy Littlejohn. She and Chip have something fantastic you got to know about. So I gave her a call. She went, oh, yeah, we got to get you on this. And at the time, I was 48 and I was going through that change of life, early change of life, and the pre. And I was miserable. I was working with my husband. We're self-employed all these years, all our married lives. And we were installing window coverings, shutters, blinds, draperies. And it was June, it was May or June. It was already getting hot here in the Fresno areas where we install. We live up in the mountains, but we travel to Fresno to install. And so it was always hot during the summer, and I didn't do that well in the heat because I was very toxic. Now, I had done a lot of detoxing in my lifetime because I did know I was toxic, but until I found the Cell Defender, oh my goodness, it totally changed my life when I started just dropping these simple drops in my mouth 4 to 5 times a day. At that time, I was doing 10 drops 4 to 5 times a day. And what I was like before I started the drops was I was having anxiety every afternoon, about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd have this anxiety just from nowhere. I'd never had that before in my life. I was having hot flashes like crazy any time of the day or night. It was miserable. And I had something on my scalp, and I wasn't diagnosed, but it was similar to I'd had a scaly knees and elbows when I was younger. And that's what I, attribute it towards something like that, or candida outbreak or whatever it was. It was miserable. It was my head and scalp just itched. And in a couple places it burned, like I had a couple of nickel-sized places are almost raw. It was really strange. And then I'd touch my hair and it would just snow. I mean, just dandruff would just fall. It was so embarrassing. And so when I started taking the Cell Defender, within 3 days, the anxiety totally went away. I never had another day of anxiety. And within a couple of weeks, the itching and burning on my scalp started to let up. Within a few more weeks, the dandruff stopped. And my hot flashes, I noticed, were getting less. Now, they weren't completely gone, but they were getting less within a couple of months. And that's when Rick came out with his first batch of our mushroom products, our Zimmunity we have now. And I started taking that, and I was taking quite a bit. It's whole food, so Marcy goes, it won't hurt you, take as much as you need. And so I was taking back then. Of course, our mushrooms are stronger now. Rick always makes everything better over the years, but back then I was taking like 4 times a day. Like, it was just awesome. What happened was, just within a few weeks, I mean, I think I'm trying to remember because it's been a while, but it seems like even a week or two, I saw a difference. But within a month or two, for sure, my hot flashes just absolutely diminished. And I flew through menopause. I mean, I'm 67 now. I feel better than I did at 48 because of Rick's products. So thank you guys for letting me share. I just want to spread the word. Every woman in the world needs to be on her products. And I'm so grateful that Marcy and Chip shared with our family. Thanks, Mars.
Absolutely. And Rob, I want you to just say one more thing. Tell us what happened when you added the balance and what's happened just in 2 months.
Oh my goodness. The balance has been another miracle for me, another upgrade in my health, emotionally, uh, with energy, motivation. during the day, or even waking up with the motivation is different. Um, it's just amazing
How
that
about your hair?
Oh yeah, my hair. Thank you. That's the greatest. I had to have my sister do my hair again yesterday, but it's funny because it'll go 6 weeks or so, or maybe even seven. I can get out of it before we need to do my hair. And this time, within 3.5 weeks, I went, I can't stand it. Trim my hair. So she trimmed it, and that was 2 weeks ago. And I just called her again. I said, I can't stand it. It's too long. It won't do anything I want it to do. Because especially during the summertime, I like it short. I said, cut my hair, do my hair. So she actually, did a color and everything yesterday, which is like a week and a half, 2 weeks before we normally did it. And I had a trim even in the middle. So it's amazing. It's getting thicker and longer, faster. It was hilarious. I mean, Glenn and I were just laughing over it. So I'm thrilled because if you're seeing those kind of things on the outside, can you imagine? I mean, we can only imagine what's going on in the inside with our cells and all that health. So, yeah, thanks for the reminder, Mars.
I was holding my hair up.
I don't have my glasses on, as you guys could see. I'm not seeing the
Oh,
details, and I forgot to make you guys big on my computer. So I probably should
okay.
do that.
Well, I was holding my hair up and they'll testify to it. All right, guys. Thank you, Robin. Is Haley available yet? If not, somebody just popped up. Dawn. Dawn has a testimony. Priscilla, is Haley available yet?
She just texted me and said she is available if we're ready.
Okay, let's bring her on, please.
Okay. Robin, would you like to introduce Haley?
Oh, I'd love to. Haley, are you with us?
I am.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Haley has become a great friend of mine, but I'm really good friends with her parents. And her dad and mom introduced me to her and her husband, Danny, and sorry, Daniel. And they're amazing. When we first met, Haley's going to share her story. And Marcy helped us. We were on the phone several times in the few weeks that started, and then as she needed us. But she is a warrior. She's an amazing mother and wife, and just has an amazing persona. And I love having her on my Avini team. And she's got some fun things to share, Marcy, when we can.
No, I can't wait.
Oh.
Not that I haven't heard it before, but I love it.
Well, she has a new mom another friend that she brought in with an autistic child that's just doing fantastic too. So we'll have her on a testimonial call. But Haley, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm excited you're here. Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. I love having the Avini stuff in my pocket because for
Uh-oh,
there
we go.
Okay.
You were blocked. We couldn't hear you for a minute. Go ahead, Haley.
She's got to unmute.
You've got to unmute, Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of your screen on the left-hand side.
it says I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, perfect. So I really appreciate you guys allowing me to be here. Thank you for that. Avini Health has absolutely changed my life. I am blown away at the progress I've made in my health, and whether it's mental or physical or any of that, I'm just blown away. And I don't want to say perplexed because I love the science. I love diving into it. I love learning all about it. So I understand it very well, but it blows my mind that more people don't know about it. So I want to shout it from the rooftops, like, you need Avini Health. It'll change your life. It's so good. But for me, it's like, Robin, you mentioned that we were on the phone a lot. I was really nervous to start the products. I was really scared. I was like, how is this going to affect me? What's going to happen? And then when I kept trusting you, I kept seeing big results. And so one of those big results was that I got to have a baby. And I wasn't able to do that because I have a female reproductive disease that causes a lot of scarring. And it was heartbreaking to not have a baby. And I cried out like Hannah for many years. And the Lord gave me many dreams that I would have another baby. So I just was heartbroken. Like, this is not fair. This hurts. Like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, how am I supposed to have a baby? It's not happening. And then I had a dream about Avini. And then sure enough, I got on the phone with my dad and he was like, I think you need some Avini products. And the cool thing is, not only did I get my miracle baby, I have friends who've also taken the product and they've also gotten their babies. Like Robin mentioned, I have a friend who wasn't, her son wasn't talking. He's 2 years old and he wasn't talking at all. And so I gave friend a bottle of Cell Defender, and her son started talking and he started looking her in the eyes. And he's the most beautiful child, but now she she sounded like she was about to be in tears when she was like, my son looked at me for more than 20 seconds. And when I thought how much that happens in a day-to-day experience with my own kids, I literally cried. I was like, I can't believe I took that for granted. Like, I never knew that that was some things that people don't get to experience. And so for me, I got my baby. I get to see my friends have their babies. I get to see children who they might not talk very well, but or they might not talk at all, but they're getting that experience with their family and they're talking and they're having such a healthier life and just a beautiful experience. One thing I forgot to mention though in the beginning of my story was that because of the female reproductive disease that I had, I would have chronic pain and I would have chronic fatigue and I would wake up and I would not have any ease. It would be pain all the time and exhaustion all the time, even if I slept 8 to 10 hours. And when I started taking the products, not only did the pain in my body from the female reproductive disease go away, but also the fatigue left too. So I don't have the chronic fatigue. I don't have the chronic pain. I got my baby and I'm just like over the moon about these products. I tell everyone I possibly can about them, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Thank you, Haley. That was beautiful. And every time I hear it, I just glow from the inside out. I'm so, so, so excited. Um, the other thing we didn't talk about on this call yet about women's health is infertility. So what a perfect lead in. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much for having me.
Love it. You can come anytime. We love having you on the testimonial calls. Thank you, doll.
Thank you.
And stick around because people will have questions. Okay. Dawn, do you have a testimony? I don't want to leave somebody out that offered. So anyway, if you get on, just let me know. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about reproductive situations. She talked about the most common problem in reproduction today. And it is, in fact, a scarring disease that happens to women. However, our men are having a very big crisis with quality of sperm. And what is that caused from? Well, it's usually an injury. Years ago, it didn't happen unless it was an injury. Now they get they start having issues that are all toxin related. But guess what? So is the scarring. It literally can be eliminated by using our Cell Defender product. We see people over and over and over again. And we have people say, is it safe for my baby? Is it safe for anyone? Yes, it's safe for anyone at any age. The Cell Defender can be used by anyone, anywhere. So as we go through this, and as you're thinking for yourself, if you had extreme cramping and unusual amounts of bleeding and so forth when with your monthly period, you're talking about issues that we see resolved, and babies. Ask Haley. And at one time, our first 18 months in Avini, I think this is correct. Our first 18 months in Avini, we had 9 babies on the ground and 14 total on the way. And we haven't kept track after that. And that's just Avini. when we with the products and with Rick's product, the Cell Defender, and the 20 years I've been using it, I cannot name the number of babies. And I'm very, 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 very proud that these wonderful moms and dads got to be blessed with babies. So I like to start both husband and wife on the product. Mom takes more often, and dad takes the product 4 to 6 times a day, 5 to 10 drops. Mom takes it more often than that. I like to see them take it 10 times a day. And what we have seen is that sure has been surprising. I tell them to take it that hard for 90 days and keep taking it after the 90 days, because what is it? It's like brushing your teeth. When are you going to stop brushing your teeth? The day after you die, right? Somebody will brush them for you. So I'm telling you, don't stop taking it. The last breath, keep taking it.
I see Shu up there on the line with you, Marcy.
I can't see them, honey. I'm
like
sorry. That's why.
He looks a lot like
so
a
I would like to
stork to
finish.
me.
I'd like to finish this because I want to also talk about the fact that these women are not lying to us. These families are not lying to us about their gifts. They're telling us when they wouldn't tell anybody. We have a lot of people that won't give their testimony because they don't want people to know they had a problem. Okay? So there are more and more and more and more. But in addition to that, we also have horses and animals that couldn't have babies. And we have incredible results with horses that are brood mares that couldn't produce. That's why you have them. If it's a brood mare, it's there for that purpose. And we can stimulate them and the stallions and get results. And that's exactly what we've seen. And the last horse I talked to didn't lie to me. So that's all I wanted to add. Okay, now I can't see them, Chip, so why don't you just call them out? Or Carol.
Well, I'm just saying, Shu is up there on the top line with you to me. So if you call on him, I bet you he'd say something. I'm just guessing.
All right, Shu.
Yes, we do have some grandbabies. It's been amazing. My daughter was adopted, and we didn't know there was issues. And as she got married and proceeded to try to have kids, that just never did happen after 5 years. And once I was introduced to Avini, of course, I introduced the entire family, and plus my barn cats and whatnot too. And lo and behold, about 90 days later, she invited me and my wife to go to dinner. And we sat down for dinner, and she handed me a set of baby shoes across the table. And I had no idea. And here she is pregnant, and she's got a 18-month-old beautiful baby. And it was on the Cell Defender right out of the room, thanks to Marcy, and continues on it to this day. It'll be one of those things, like Marcy says, right to the last breath. And so that's how important it is. And, I was sitting here thinking about this call this evening. I recollected a little bit back to Monday, to Tuesday, to Wednesday, and to tonight. This week to me has been one of the most powerful testimonial weeks that I've exhibited with Avini. I mean, from Tony's to Robin's led into Richard and Neil. And then following day, Chip gets on there and talks more about our new product. And now here we are Thursday, more onto those subjects. This week alone, you guys, has been astronomical. It gives me chills this week. It really does, for what we've been able to hear, because I haven't missed a single call. And I try not to miss anything at all. If anything, I might be 2 minutes late. But this is life-changing. It saved my life more than once, thanks to Marcy and Chip and Robin. I wasn't supposed to be here. And it's...
Oh, no. You are always supposed to be here, my friend.
Yeah. My entire family has been lost due to the bad cells. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one left. And there's a reason for that. And you can thank Rick and Marcy and Chip and Robin all for that, you guys, as most of us can. And so it's right there. Thank you.
Thank you. And you also were part of the horse thing.
Yes.
Some of the horses, yes.
Yeah, she's had
the
4
latest
now.
horses.
She's got
The
4 so
earliest
far,
horses were mostly mine.
and she's got 2 more to go this summer that are pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And Chip, I can't tell who the next one was.
Well, Doc was just commenting, all that was before balance. Now what's it going to be? And
Right.
about that time, I think you were responding to something else, but you said 100%. I don't know if it'll be 100%, but we got to be getting close.
It's right there.
Percent.
You know,
I don't know
Marcy-
what I said. I try not to say 100%. 99%, 87.
So
I'm just telling you,
Amy typed
100%
in
of
about
people need what we have.
Amy typed in
100% of
about
people need
headaches,
it.
Marcy.
I'm sorry.
Amy typed a question about headaches that last forever.
Oh, yes.
Debilitating.
I know a lot about those. Yeah. Every cycle of my life, in my early life, I would have those. So I'm very familiar. Yeah. And the question is, the kind of headache that makes you blind, or the kind of headache that makes it so that your vision blurs, that kind of thing, the kind that makes you walk with your feet far apart so you can stay together.
And the kind, Marcy, that makes you say, "Cut my head off." I've had them.
Yes, ma'am. And sometimes it's cut my head off at the shoulders, because they can run anywhere. And then an interesting thing about them, I was on the phone with a lady about 3 days ago, and she would get them, and then they would, if she got rid of, after 3 days, she might get rid of it in her head, and it would go settle in her knee or go settle in her ankle, and it would be different places, different time. And I said, if you get rid of the trash, it's going to the places that are most vulnerable. So we need, just like with Uncle Arthur, he's the guy that comes to every picnic and you wish he didn't, right? Because that's the buildup of toxins in your body. So her bad headaches would go to the next spot, and then it would stay there for 2 or 3 weeks, she said. And then it was time for another headache. About 28 days apart, girls. Yeah. And I'm telling you, she was in a bad way. Anyway, she told me in 3 days, she broke the headache she had, and it didn't land anywhere else. And that was just this week. And by the way, Shu, my Wednesday call turned into a testimony call too.
Yes, it did.
So this was a week. You're right. It was a week. And it's only 1 week in the life of us at Avini. 1 week. Impact. Powerful.
Yes.
Forever. Carol, do you want to handle questions, or how do you want to do it?
Sure.
Are we out of time yet?
No, we're good. So does anybody have questions for Marcy, or for all the people that spoke tonight? Do you have any questions for them?
I have a continued question about migraines.
Okay, we don't use that word because it is a diagnosis.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I can say headache, and that's not a diagnosis.
Oh,
okay. And I can say
headache.
Okay, I have a question about a bad headache.
Thank you, dear. The ones that come, like I was just talking about, and are crisis headaches.
Yeah.
Okay?
So my daughter's been getting them since she's 8 years old, and she's now 23. And then another friend of mine gets them even worse, 3 days in a row, where it starts like the casting clouds, and then the sun comes out, and the headache's in the right eye, but it's not debilitating yet, and the barometric pressure drops, and then it makes dry heaving, throwing up.
Yep.
And cut off a quadrant of needs to cut off a quadrant of the head, and then would be hard to function and do anything. Postmenopausal. One is 23 and one's postmenopausal.
Okay.
The two
daughter
two
used
people
to have
that are
headaches
suffering.
that would blind her, and they called them.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they didn't even hurt; they just blinded her, and so they called them the kind of massive headache, but they called them painless. Well, they didn't stay painless, and so yes, they're terrible. So here's what I told the woman a few days ago, and it worked 3 days. She's back on the phone with me telling me it worked. Okay. So number one, Cell Defender, and take it. Everyone should be taking it at least 5 drops 4 times a day. But somebody that's in a crisis with that situation, they need to take it more often. I would say 6 to 8 times a day. Okay. But they need to drink lots of water, because the number one cause of that kind of headache is still dehydration. So the number 2 answer is to get the hydration product and take it with the Cell Defender. Okay. And if she can take it twice a day, that's great. She can take it as often as she wants, the hydration, but she needs to take it at least twice a day.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to hear back from you, because I expect that to work.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And if no one else heard that, please hear it again.
Yeah.
Hydration is the backup product for that issue.
Yep.
Cell Defender and hydration, problem solves.
Yeah, Marcy,
Your body will go to work to do that.
I only get headaches now, nothing else.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
it put me in the
you get
hospital
when you know what to
every
do.
year for 12 years. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you feel one coming on, grab the hydration and the Cell Defender and hit it both, you know?
Yeah.
I'm new here, and I have a neighbor across the street who has horrific bad headaches.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for getting it right. Okay.
What you just said to who was the lady about a diagnosis, I got it.
All right. Yes, I was congratulating you. Thank you.
A quick,
Yeah.
I want to just write on a yellow sticky and give it to her.
Absolutely. Say I was on a call last night, and my friend described exactly what you have. And she said that thousands of people are doing this. Please try this and see it and let me know if it works, right?
Yeah.
I need a test bunny. Say to her, I need a test bunny. If you can't be brave and say, I'm your neighbor, I'm a happy network marketer, tell her that you need a test subject for something you heard on this call tonight.
Okay, so it's Cell Defender.
Cell Defender and the hydration product.
6 to
And
8.
hydration, they need to take it at least twice a day.
The
Plus hydration is what the product's called.
hydration 2 times a day.
Yes, at least. She can take it as often as she wants to, but at least twice a day.
And the Cell.
And the lady that I just had, her name is Edna, and I don't think she'll care if I say her name. The lady I just talked to was Edna, and she said she took it twice a day, but after the headache was gone, she started taking it 3 times a day. She said, I don't want it to come back.
Cell Defender for her, because she's got these bad headaches. It's 6 to 8 times a day with lots of water.
Yeah, 5 to 10 drops, 6 to 8 times a day, lots of water, and the hydration.
Okay, and for somebody like me who doesn't get headaches,
right?
How many?
I'm gonna guess that you're over 40.
I'm 85.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you have other things. And because you have other things, that means you have other roadblocks. I like to have people start on the Cell Defender, and I don't have people take, waste their money. I have people invest in their health. So if you're taking 5 to 10 drops, take it 6 times a day. It's not going to hurt you, but it's going to help you get rid of your trash faster. And then as you're adding the other products, you don't have to wait to add the hydration for somebody that's already got the problem, the headaches. But for you can add, maybe you're going to add immunity next, or you're going to add balance next. Whatever you're adding, add the things one at a time. So you see the results. Number one, you're seeing the results, but you're also introducing it to your body gradually. And I think that's very, very good.
Okay. I have Cell Defender, 5 to 10 drops, 6 times a day.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't have headaches. Okay.
Okay, well, whether you had headaches or not, the hydration is good for you. Do you ever get leg cramps? Do you ever get lower back pain? That kind of thing? I strongly suggest you try the hydration. When you have low back pain, a lot of the times it's kidney. And what's that from? Not enough water.
And hydration 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a choice. You can do it once a day, but if you like it, like I do, I like mine hot. I make mine hot, and my husband is good to me, and he makes mine hot for me too.
All right. And I've been putting the, what is the powder?
Fiber?
Less
The fiber?
Yes, I'm putting a scoop of that in my smoothie every morning.
Oh, brilliant. And by the way, you can take that more often than once a day as well. If you are pleasantly surprised and you're staying in sync and your body is creating movements on a regular basis, if you're having 2 movements a day and you eat at least 2 meals a day, that's pretty good.
All movements?
Okay. But you can also do an additional fiber a day. Anytime you want, you can do two or 3 a day.
So
If you need help, get the help.
the fiber should help with bowel movements?
Oh, yes, ma'am. But it's not just a fiber. It's plus fiber. There's 7 different and things that Rick put together that were separate products in another company. And he put all 7 of them together because he didn't want to charge each of us 7 containers full of stuff when he could put it in one. He's brilliant.
Hey, Marcy,
Yes,
I wanted to, you got some great comments. Dr. Warren was saying plus relief helps my bad headaches, and Dawn Cummings said the same thing. So I wanted to make sure because I know
Thank you. I'm glad you can read them.
And then the other thing is I wanted to come in on, someone was asking about hemorrhoids and constipation. And I wanted to come in on the hydration, I'm telling you, I've done colonics. I've had colonics done when I was younger because I had terrible colon. I always have had to take a lot of natural things to have bowel movements all my life. And Cell Defender has been miraculous for that. Immunity's helped me too. The fiber, I take it 3 times a day without fail. I mean, I know the difference in my body. But when the hydration came out, the first few days, I felt like I was having a colonics. I don't know how to, I don't think Deidre would agree with me, but it was pretty amazing that I got cleaned out and I felt so good. And I just, you were telling me and others were telling me how important it is to keep that the colon is really important to keep hydrated. It has a lot to do with hydration. And I just wasn't aware of that. I mean, I drank a lot of water. I mean, and that's a big difference. I used to drink tons of water, but obviously I wasn't getting the right hydration. So when I add the hydration, I don't have to drink quite as much water. And I mean, Mark and I would drink, up to half a gallon a day. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of water, but we don't have to drink that much now with the hydration product.
Well, and if you're drinking that much water and it's not landing anywhere, it has no value. And the truth is, I just had this conversation with Rick this week because we're lucky enough to be down here in Florida. And we had this very conversation. And I'm one of the people that just doesn't do well about drinking water. And he said for me to take the hydration 10 minutes before I take the fiber, 10 to 15 minutes before I take the fiber, because what happens is that your colon, the first place that dehydrates is your colon, because it takes everything, all the moisture in it to pass the waste. So I thought that was just brilliant. I didn't think of taking it 10, 15 minutes before taking the fiber. How brilliant is that? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Anyway, so again, a new tidbit. Please use it. Anything else? You see any other questions? I'm passing it back.
But I do see something that says that she doesn't look 85. Beautiful. So.
Oh, I'm glad you passed that on to her.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new difference in 85. There's a difference in 75. A 65 is the new 45, right? I'm just shocked at how good everybody looks. How, people that you thought, man, that they're looking a little rough. They're on a comeback. I'm telling you, everybody's on a comeback. Anyway, so if you're on our products, you're on your way back.
These two too. This is what I have. And let's see, I have the X-Munity mushroom.
Unity.
Yep.
And-
Z-Munity. Z-Munity.
Mhm.
Z is for zeolite.
Z, exactly. Z,
Okay.
I have this silver of that.
Oh, yes.
I have plus release. And I
Great.
have 2 cell defenders.
Good. Excellent.
Don't have any hydration.
Well, you better get you some hydration.
Mhm.
Yeah?
You'll love it. And try it warm. Seriously. I take it before I go to bed at night warm. And it's so relaxing. And I don't get leg cramps anymore. And when I go to bed, I wake up in the same position I went to sleep.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm a chronic non-sleeper, so that's saying a lot. All right, boys and girls, I've taken the whole hour.
Is the hydration a powder
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
that you
And
mix?
you just mix it. You mix it in water, and
Okay.
you can mix it in cold water or hot water. I like hot water.
I'm gonna try.
It's like having. I don't drink coffee, but it's like having your cuppa. I have my cuppa before I go to bed.
It's good that way too. I
Yeah.
tried.
Wow.
Yeah.
Marcy, thank you so much for sharing all of that tonight with us. We are so blessed here at Avini Vibes. The guests are amazing, absolutely amazing every week. Thank you so
Well,
much.
we're blessed that you're out there spreading the word, and we're always happy to come back. Let me know anytime you need me.
Oh, we will. We will be inviting you back many times. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This recording will be available. So thank you once again. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Everybody keep Craig in your prayers because he's still in surgery, I think.
Definitely.
So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Thank
Blessings,
Carol.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
It's been
Bye,
really
Sue.
real.
Not at all.
Thank you. Thank you, Haley.
Yes, thank you, Haley.
Thank you.